would you guys like to do? There's
Now you're just showing off.
You're in kind of you're in a spot that it doesn't seem like there's an enormous amount of traffic, but there's no one coming out immediately to investigate your ship.
Well, we need to get to the chop shop.
Yep.
I guess we need to find where it is then. They might have moved it because they're illegal.
That's very true. What would you all like to do?
Are we in a
Sorry, go ahead, Ref.
Are we in a populated section, or are we in a where are we?
It's semi-populated. You're seeing that there's large piles of these scrap junk, and there's in the background and some distance and in the far distance you can see a lot of factories rising around you. As you start to kind of like peer out the windows and look around, you can see some of these IoT moving around, and the color of their carapace makes them both blend into the rusted metal and scrap, and a lot of the black rock, the black reddish molten rock that's all around you. And you see several of them are kind of crawling around looking through the scrap or investigating, maybe scrounging for anything that might actually be valuable there. And some of them have started to take a look at your ship. Some of them are kind of eyeing you since you guys haven't yet left the vessel.
Yeah, the chop shop's got to be around here somewhere. So I guess we need to start looking around. Ark, I think you're the one with actual streetwise skills.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to blend in all that much. I suppose I'm mostly good for hanging out with you. Let's see. I do have questioning, so I could assist you to go look for Augie in his chop shop. Big Giant Head, what would you like to do?
I'll stay with the ship. You find the chop shop, I'll fly it over.
That makes the most sense to me.
Right.
Okay, we'll sync the radios. We'll sync up the local time. We'll check the weather. Today is expected to be cool and breezy, a low 112 degrees centigrade.
It's hot. It's hot. So you all you start descending down the ramp onto the planet, and I mean, unless you have a completely regulated suit, it's hot, and you're starting to walk out. You're noticing that like as your ramp comes down, a lot of those creatures that you saw, the IoT originally, they kind of skirt away and make themselves scarce as you make actual planetfall.
Yeah, weirdos. I'm going to go ahead and, because we're Civiland, I'm going to switch out of... Well, wait a minute. Do you, Arklord, do you have a radio? Do you have a survey bonus?
I have a portable radio.
Okay. Because I could switch to the Explorer suit, which would be more comfortable, but it... Actually, wait. No, the Explorer suit does have a survey bonus. I'll switch to the Explorer suit.
Well, so like you step off the ship, you're thinking about switching to the Explorer suit.
No, I switched because I checked the weather before I got off. When you guys
checked the weather, all right.
When you said that, I said that's it. All right, I'm putting on the cooler suit. That means I don't have any body armor.
Okay, all right.
But it specifically has a survival bonus, which means it's more comfortable in different environments.
Okay. So you've landed and you're starting to investigate around. You're moving away from the ship and kind of through these shanty towns and the lower class living areas. What sort of questions? What are you guys asking about?
Well, we're asking where Augie is because that's who we need to find. That's our contact.
All right.
But we do it in a gossiping kind of way. You know, like, hey, hot enough for you?
And of course, your parent is using criminal jive so she can figure out who to talk to find that chop shop.
Yeah, because we don't know if this is we just got here, so we don't know if this is like a cooperative world or what sort of structure they have. If it's a corporate world, these people might be in slums because they we don't know if there's a black market or if there's different tribes or that sort of politics. So we have to find that out. We have to find out the lay of the criminal land, and that's what Arklord's going to do.
But yeah, what is there any particular skill you'd like to use to ask around, figure out what's going on this planet?
Questioning and streetwise.
Yeah.
Okay, I will assist you because I have some questioning, but you're better at it. So that's one or more successes for me gives you a bonus D8. So it's like I look at these guys and say, look, this bar is not worth it or whatever.
Yeah.
And we have a montage. We play awesome music as we go from place to place.
Okay, and would this be will or mind to find underworld contacts on this planet?
I'd say it'd be more will would be a more valuable skill here. It's just as showing a powerful presence can really influence what looks like a lot of like scavengers or workers on this planet.
Do you have a lot of willpower?
I have a D4. I'm planning on raising that pretty soon.
We are not the Will Patrol.
But with your D8, I have a D8, D6, D4, D12. So I have a pretty good spread of chance. And that 7, I hope it's good enough.
With that 7, you are able to find out where this Ognor scroll operates from. But without any more successes, you're unable to find out any more information about the planet or like kind of what's going on here on this planet in general. But
So
you have
like I need to be patient.
it does. You're realizing you're just not getting the right answers, and maybe it's something like maybe it's just that these people don't trust you. You're clearly newcomers. You're sweating a lot, and that they're like, well, that seems like something that a nervous person would do.
I can't understand why they wouldn't want to talk to the 9-foot dinosaur.
Yeah, they.
Hour.
And so with a second success, I'll let you ask me some questions. What sort of information are you looking for on this planet? What are you trying to get from what information are you exactly looking for?
I'm guessing we just want Augie in his chop shop.
Augie in his chop shop, any
Yeah,
sort of political rivalries we should try not to be stepping on the toes of.
Yeah, with one success, you know where Ognar and his shop is. You can figure that out. With the second success, you're talking to some folks, and it seems like the political structure on this planet is divided into roughly 3 groups. The first group is the underworld and the criminal elements, and those seem to be a lot of them are disguised as unions, and they seem to they talk a lot about representing the people, but they're clearly completely criminal, and they run a lot of the
claim to be social, like Chamber of Commerce groups, but they're actually criminals. Okay, I can get that.
exactly. Yep. The second group is actual businessmen and the actual companies. Those are the ones that actually own all the shops in the industry, and they're the people that usually will purchase the scrap that they just end up dumping on this planet, so that they can eventually manufacture it. And the third group is a combination of both government and scientists that are trying to preserve the planet of Putov's natural environment and ecosystem, and they're the ones that regulate the business side of things. So those are the 3 groups that kind of have the kind of rule, or the 3 political parties on the planet of Putov.
So there's the upright unions, the corrupt unions, and the scientists. All right. I'm assuming Augie is part of the corrupt ones?
Yes.
Okay. Can they tell us where he operates from or something like that?
I believe that is the case, yes.
Yeah, you know where to find him.
Okay, well, I guess we need to go find him. Oh, God. I need to get some more water.
So you're all, are you going to go to where he runs his business out of well, just another one of these huge factories, and they say, people direct you to go there and then ask for Foreman Ognar.
Well, I'm following Arcloyd lead, so
Well, do we want to take the ship there first, or announce our presence and tell him it's coming?
we definitely want to talk to him first. We don't even know if
Okay.
the chop shop is on his own turf. He might have somewhere else. He's a criminal, dude.
Yeah, let's go talk to him then.
So you arrive at this enormous factory, and you're checking it out. And do you have any? Let's see what this skill would be. I would like the both of you to roll. It would be an observation roll
Oh, observation we've got.
with I think is mind the one that usually goes with observation.
Usually. Speed if you're in a hurry.
Mind and observation.
Body if it's on a high shelf.
There we go. I got one success. That's all I can hope for.
Oh, because you don't have observation.
Right.
Okay. And do neither of you have observation?
Nope, I have tactics. I'm a human. I
All
don't
right.
observe things. I oppress them.
So you've arrived at the location, and for Ezreal, there's just looks like every single other one of these factories that you've been to, and maybe it's the fact that Neferu is a little bit of a more of an underworld contact, sort of mercenary. You're noticing that this factory, there seems to be a large number of these laborers that are just kind of not actually doing anything, and they have more of a look to you as maybe the enforcer, or maybe even just some sort of guards, trying to make themselves look busy, that sort of things. So that's what you notice. So you feel like you might, if you feel like your questioning brought you to the right place. And even if this isn't where Ognar is, this is clearly there's some sort of underworld activity happening here anyways.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
I can recognize creeps for hire. So.
Yeah, so let's approach one of these busy, not busy types.
Yeah, you do all the talking. I'm your shadow.
Yeah, good day there. I'm looking for Foreman Ognar. We're with
You're not
Ronnie.
saying it in the dinosaur voice. Good day there.
I'm sorry. I don't really have a good dinosaur
I know.
voice yet. I can work on it.
Well, all you have to do is have short arms, right? Hello there.
Hello. That's my best with Southfire.
They kind of look you up and down. The foreman's inside. You here for scrap?
We're here to sell.
Oh well, yeah. Go. Yeah. He points to one of the doors. That'll take you inside. You should find the foreman in there. They both size you up, and are you carrying your rail cannon with you?
Yes.
Your rail gun. Yeah, they eye you up and down, and he's in there. He'll want to speak with you.
Thank you kindly.
So
you
you
nod to them and lead Ezreal that way.
And as you go in, you notice that several of them they're pushing scrap around and doing just mindless, not actual work. Some of them stop that and kind of proceed to follow you inside as you make your way in. And the inside is just enormous conveyor belts taking what you see molten ore being poured. And if it was hot outside, it's just as hot inside here, and you're seeing various machines stamp and and make an entire ruckus. You see different people shuffling around and moving around. And you do see towards one end where there are sets of stairs up to what look like catwalks and several different offices that seem to have large tinted windows that look like they look down on all the work that's happening here.
Yeah, an observation point for the factory floor makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
So she'll head to the largest one of those because that should be where a foreman would be.
That would be, yep. And you're seeing now that you're walking up the stairs to get to this one, and you see where the guards were trying to be hidden at the other one. There's two of these AOD standing straight outside the entrance to this observation building, and while the others probably have weapons on them that they might be hidden, these two are sitting there in armor with what you're fairly certain are military issue rifles right by the door. And one of them calls out, "Stop! Who are you? What's going on? What's happening? You more workers?"
I'm here from Ronnie the Blue. We're here to see Foreman Ognar.
Ronnie the Blue, huh? All right, one moment. And you see him kind of turn his back, and he hits some sort of keypad, and Ronnie the Blue. Yeah, two of them. One really big one, and the human. Yeah. Okay. All right. Ognar will see you. And he hits a button, and the door opens, revealing what looks like a small airlock room. You see there's like several coat hangers and spots where people can take off their suits, and uh, this guy gestures. You can go on in. Feel free to take off any of your bulky equipment. There's
Very well.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at Ark.
She'll leave the railgun and her aramid there. I assume she has normal clothes on underneath.
Yeah. And the door behind you shuts, and the next opens, and the fresh cold air that hits your face when the second door opens. Oh, I mean, it's heavenly. It probably stops you in your tracks for a second or two, as it's I mean, being humid and hot, and the outside the air was just, it wasn't totally noticeable, but it was smoky outside, and now that you're back in this room, you notice the difference, and it's cold, it's crisp, the air feels
Yeah,
like you're on top of a mountain.
I bet my suit even tells me the particulates is small enough I can take my mask off.
Yes, yeah, you can you can do that.
By the way, for the record, if they don't ask me to disarm, I'm not disarming because I only have
Oh.
pistol.
They haven't asked you that.
Okay, I'll walk in.
You assume now that you feel this fresh air, you assume what they were mentioning was you don't have to wear your environmental suit once you're past this room.
Roger that.
Um,
Well, I'm Mark's minder, so I'll come in.
are you all right? So you go on in, and it's the room that you step into is a lavish suite where the outside of the factory is rusted, and there's metal everywhere and hazard signs, and you see there's spots where they've got you look at spots and you're like, that's not just a rust stain, that might be blood. In here, everything is spick and span and clean, and it's wonderful. You see, there are several guards in the corners, but each of them wears a nice suit, and they don't have any weapons that they currently draw on, but they're just kind of watching. On on one of the couches, overlooking and looking down onto the factory floors, you see another one of these IOD, and if it's possible for these creatures to look more drawn up and regal, this this one does look that way, and you see he's got it in one hand several food. We can't hear you, Rafferty. You're
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I was thinking, has he like drilled holes in his carapace to put in jewelry, or do they do ritual scarification and decoration of their shells or anything like that?
yes, it is. It is the decoration of shells. So he's got. It's almost like tattooing, where they'll chisel different spots as the carapace grows.
They bedazzle themselves.
They
Man, if I had the
bedazzle
gift,
themselves.
yeah,
Yeah.
if I had the gift of Cosmopolitan, I'd understand what all that meant.
So he's got this intricate chiseling all over his carapace, and you see he's got several in each of his numerous hands. He's got several drinks, and he turns and finishes off one of them. I hear he rubs when he rubs his hands together. He rubs all four of them together in front of him. I hear you're from Ronnie the Blue. My name is Foreman Ognar Scroll. Please have a seat. If I'm sure we have something for you. And he gestured towards the 9-foot dinosaur.
Yes, thank you. She'll try to find a suitable surface to park herself on that's vaguely chair-like.
Ognar goes, "Come on, what are you doing, fools? This Troodon needs a chair. Make yourself useful." And if there's nothing at first that you can find, one of them scampers off and ends up bringing maybe a large bean bag of some kind, or something with a hole in it so you can stick your tail in, and it'd be in some element of comfort.
Beanbags are cool.
But it's space bean bags, so it's got maybe some sort of I don't know what would make it space, but it's
They're
Yeah,
hard
space bean bags.
individually, but together they form a squishy mass.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, she'll hunker down on the beanbag like she's nesting.
So Ognar himself makes his way over to what looks like a some sort of mini bar, and drinks for any of you.
Water, please.
Oh God, yes.
Water. That's a good one. He gets 2 glasses of water and brings them to you. Now, you sent me. You sent Ronnie sent you, so I trust everything went well.
It did.
Great. And how is she?
Pristine.
Oh, delightful. You know, that's one of the ships I had. I've had it for a while. It's one of the first I ended up boosting. Memories. Anyways, I didn't get any notification that there was any vessel landing near my factory.
We've
What?
landed on the outskirts and walked here. We didn't
Okay.
want to just park too close to the factory in case you weren't expecting us.
I appreciate your professionalism, and I'm glad that Ronnie sent you. That means you're going to be well worth that little loan and the heat that ship has taken. Luckily, heat is something we're really used to here on Putav. if you pardon the joke. But I'm sure Ronnie told you a little bit about my situation.
Yes, you said you needed some very discreet people to do you a paid favor.
Yes, I could use a favor. You see, and he walks over to one of the windows and he looks out. Putov is in a delicate balance. We the working people struggle to make enough money to provide for our families and provide for those we care about, and there are those that try to keep us down, impoverished, if
Yes,
you will.
it's a hard lot for the workers.
It is. We struggle. Uh, but there are those who don't just seek to exploit us, but they seek to keep the situation oppressed. They seek to keep us from ever rising again with rules and laws and things that keep the powerful in power. And
Yes.
as a simple iota like myself, this just does not strike me the right way. And so what I need your help with is I need your help setting it all right. You see, there is a facility on top of one of our beautiful monoliths of fire, a facility that judges and takes measurements and readings of the planet's atmosphere and core temperature, other various research elements that and well, I've heard word that they have some rather dramatic findings that, well, it's going to make some changes to a lot of the industry you see around here. Our very jobs require the piles of scrap and these factories to be running 24/7, and well, these rules and regulations that they think will be better for the IoT people and for Putov. Well, that's just not how it is. It's not fair for the common IoT.
Yes, they wish to oppress the workers with regulations.
Yes.
I can
Yes.
see.
So what I require some assistance is I am just not persuasive enough. They have heard my words and my beseechments to their better judgment, and they have not listened. What I need you to do is to persuade these researchers to uh, persuade them to that maybe their data was wrong. Maybe they have to recheck some things. Uh, I would ask that you travel to this facility and make some necessary changes to some of their scientific theory. Uh,
Adjust the leadership, as it were.
yes, an adjustment to the leadership and the current leadership is just too stagnated. If we change up the leadership and let them start on a clean slate, then I think it'll be better for all of Putov.
I see. What do you think, Ezreal? Is this a job that we are suited for?
Well, how much are you going to be paying us?
I believe Ronnie said your payment was already taken care of in exchange for the ship.
So you want us to go and apply pressure to these scientists to change their results?
Well, not just pressure. I have, and he walks over to a briefcase that he has sitting on one of the tables, and he opens it up and he picks out what looks like a data stick. I have in here some suggestions for their computer system, and yeah, I would just ask that you go to the facility, speak with the head scientist, inform him that his role there is no longer required, and then make the necessary changes.
It does sound like a job that the head could do. I suppose if we're already under contract, we're supposed to already do this. I mean, isn't that right, Ark?
Yes.
So I guess we'll go ahead and do it.
Very well.
Does everything seem to make sense to you?
Yes.
Give them the stick. Tell them to change their data to match what's on it, if they know what's good for them.
Yes, and the head scientist there, I believe, in fact, he's actually a human as well. A man named Duval.
Okay. Don't confuse that other humans get along with each other. They're very interesting.
Really? You've
Nothing
never
a
met
human
this
needs
Duval
more than another
before?
human. It's weird, I know.
Huh. Interesting. I
How
always
we got
thought there
this
was.
far, I can only imagine.
I always thought there were so few of you. You just know each other. This.
Yeah, all humans know each other.
Yeah. Well, this should be easy for you. I'm sure this Duval. Well, let's just say I would appreciate it if he had a change in career. If you know what I mean.
I see.
I suppose we're contractually obligated.
Delightful, delightful. I'm glad we have had such a great discussion.
Yeah, like I'm a mercenary. It's like, well, guess we gotta.
The ship you can drop off on. There's a hangar, or I wouldn't say a hangar, but there's a building behind this one that has a landing pad on its roof. And you can, if you land it there, then my associates there can stash it for me. I can share the location, and so he hands it. He hands a like he hands you maybe a data pad, and the research facility is located here. It is on top of. It is inside one of the largest calderas on all of Putov.
Yeah. And what's
It
the proper
is.
transportation for getting around?
It is rather difficult to reach this site. It is within a reserved block of land where uh, everything is research there. So legally, no one is allowed there, but that means you shouldn't run into anyone along the way.
It's really the Yellowstone super. It's the Yellowstone Park super volcano. Only 100 years in the future.
Yes, exactly. I if one was to try to get to the research facility itself, I would recommend any sort of climbing gear, ropes, grappling devices. That
Wow.
might be necessary.
Sounds like fun.
I would you would be able to use this vessel to transport there, but I have learned that they have certain defenses set up around their facility, and unfortunately, uh, well,
How many visitors have come by to convince them that they're to change their data?
there are several interested parties. We, I attempted a more, direct method, and unfortunately, that's why I need the vessel that you have back.
So I'm glad that you let this slide that we could expect to meet with force of arms. Okay. Sounds like fun.
Oh, I apologize. Did I not mention that?
Well, just now. I'm not used to scientists usually being armed parties, but I suppose it can be very contentious. All right, well, I guess you told us where it is, and we've got the vehicle, and we've got the data we're supposed to give them. Anything else you want to tell us, like people to look for?
People to look for.
Like who we actually need to convince, because I'm assuming there's several people, and we won't be able to tell the difference between an intern and the head scientist.
Well, let me think.
The interns have name tags.
Yes, that is one thing.
We wouldn't know what a
most
name
of-
tag is. Look, these guys have
most
name
of-
tags.
most of the research crew, it's mainly some of them are IoT, but it is mainly off-worlders. This,
Hmm.
I believe that this Duval might be the only human amongst them all. But
Okay, so we're looking for Duval the human, and we need to apply
yes.
pressure to convince him. All right, and we've got this data stick, which I assume is some sort of magnetic storage device, and so don't let it. Get
Yes,
away.
I would highly recommend not using that data stick until you have to.
Well, I'll go ahead and carry the data stick since my friend here carries the world's biggest magnet.
Right?
Demagnetizes your railgun.
More like you'd be more worried about demagnetizing the storage media.
Yeah. Just like, hey, here's a rust monster to hold on to. Hopefully it doesn't eat all your armor.
Yeah, that's the first sign. Hey guys, the Wi-Fi is not working right. Boo! So yeah, so let's I guess that's our goal. Let's go ahead and go so we go take the ship there, convince them, and then what do we do with the ship afterwards? Bring it back here?
Well,
I
he,
get-
yeah.
and then landed on the helipad.
And land on that helipad. All right.
Well, he said not to take the trip there.
Oh, so we're gonna walk there. So you just want to bring the helipad here, and we're just gonna go ahead
Yes,
and walk.
I'm sure you could use the vessel to get closer to the site, but
Right.
I would caution that any sort of aerial detection it just might be more dangerous for you if you
So
go
don't get
in
within
over the
sight
radar.
line. Yeah, don't get within sight line of. Can you give us a map, preferably a 3-dimensional one, of where the caldera is, so we can estimate the safe zones?
Yeah, he can give you a or like you guys could do a flyby or end up finding any sort of like aerial photography. It you guys are kind of looking at it, and he starts giving you some information about it. It seems like the caldera is something like, where did I put this?
Yeah, he might actually have like a
Yep.
3D projector here.
Yeah, so he gives you a
Okay.
nice three-dimensional image of it. It appears to be a mountain that's some 14 kilometers tall and about 24 kilometer.
Tall by Earth standards, short by Venusian standards.
Yes, it's a vast, steep-sided bowl about 50 kilometers across and 5 kilometers deep.
Also, G-Min is fired from the planning department. I just saw that. Why don't we just land the ship on his head? Like, no.
I didn't say land on his head, I just said in his facility. Now, if his head happens to be in the facility, now...
You could land it on his foot. It's just a ship, so it's also going to land on his
Look,
head as well,
they
right?
apparently-
I very much love Flash Gordon, the movie. That's all I'm saying.
True, but apparently they have air defenses, which we might not be able. We just have a shuttle. We don't have a work in Ajax.
You know who else had air defenses? Ming the Merciless.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Death Star.
We might not be
No.
able to get through the lightning field.
We just need some men on the inside. And perhaps a princess. And Brian Blessed.
Looking at
only
the aerial. Yeah,
We have his Arcloid.
you've got artillery. Looking at the aerial photography or the three-dimensional, it looks like the facility is built into the side of the like at the very base next to one of the edges of the caldera, and so you could approach the caldera. Like
Man,
you could make sure to approach from the right side if you wanted to, but it's at the bottom of the caldera. It looks like there's one main structure that
Okay.
that allows access. You're seeing from above. You see the one main structure, and you're seeing several structures around. And he points to it. They look like just domes, small domes around the facility. And he points at this. I've learned the hard way, but I believe these are the aerial defenses.
Now, one technology that's mentioned in Myriad Song is exoplex or exciter materials. And that is basically metal that gets stronger when you apply an electric current into it. So if you were, I don't know, a giant base and you had access to constant nuclear or geothermal energy, you could, in theory, build an entire steel dome that's then electrified to be unusually strong. So when you say they have domes and they're in a volcano, I'm thinking, yeah, we're not breaking it. We're not breaking through that.
That might be a good assumption to make.
We would have to somehow get into the facility. So we'd have to, but of course there have to be ways in because they are they're an inhabited place. Does he have that information, or we're going to have to get that once we get closer?
It does. You see, there is an outside helipad where there is. There is their own shuttle. Like from here, or at least whenever this picture was taken, there is a shuttle sitting out there and kind of doing some guesswork. It looks like there is a direct path between that like helipad and what looks like an entrance to the facility.
Right, but this is basically a volcano. It's basically a giant rill, like of a crater, and then sunken into it is the lava, and their facility is behind the big stone rill, right? The edges of the crater.
Like big ass crater, and then
They're in
there's
the
like this is the
volcano.
wall. Yeah.
Well,
like at the
I mean,
bottom.
it's in a caldera, and a caldera is fucking massive. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a caldera.
Well, you can have tiny calderas.
This is the massive one.
But this is a massive one. Caldera just
Yeah.
refers to a big crater filled with lava, but it can be anywhere from like a meter to a kilometer.
Well, no, most calderas aren't filled with lava.
Yeah, this one is not filled. It's 50 kilometers across, if that gives you a scale of the entire.
They're in a small part of a giant.
Yes.
Yeah, but the problem is that since they've got like a wall around them, if they had any air defenses, they would get several shots at us before we landed. So my guess would be that we might have to get within. Okay, so then the next question is an Earth-sized planet, the horizon is usually about 10 kilometers away. But this is also a mountainous region, so we'd have to estimate how close could we get before we were in sightline of the location. That might be something we have to like calculate out. But if it's, like also this is like an Earth-sized planet, or is this bigger or smaller?
It is just a little bit bigger.
Right. Okay. So so we're looking at a 10-kilometer trek or less to get there, and if it's less, it's going to be like they said with climbing gear, over and under. So fun. So how's everybody's endurance skill?
So if you say that, he will recommend. He'll say there's not necessarily a time scale on this. So if it's he would recommend some sort of environmental like habitat.
Well, and cavalcades do only come through here, every week or so. So it's not like we're gonna miss something. So because apparently, this is an important industrial sector. Lots of metals, and possibly batteries too. So sure. Well, we could also try to get some local transportation, like vehicles or mounts, if we wanted to try that.
Vehicles might be more easily detectable. That would be the difficulty there, but mounts would certainly be more on the down low.
In radar, we could try flying. G-Men would vote to fly below the radar and just kind of sneak in there, but I'm guessing our shuttle is neither fast nor stealthy.
Just run a truck.
Well, it'd have to be a truck that can go over mountains, which they make.
Yeah.
The only disadvantage of renting a truck is it costs money.
I mean, not if you steal it.
Well, that's the other question: is if we want to boost a vehicle, which is also possible. This is a mining planet, so we could boost a mining vehicle or steal a mining vehicle, or in theory, we could build a mining vehicle. There's junk here if we had the necessary craft skills to do that, but I don't think we do. We lost our junker.
Yeah.
You have there's the area that you see that is kind of like research restricted zone. It's mainly the caldera itself, so that 50-kilometer wide, and from the outside base of the caldera, it extends out probably about 10 kilometers so it's in all probably about a 60-kilometer basically bubble of not quite a bubble just because it's not completely a circle, but a big ass. That's about or I guess it'd be on both sides. So it'd be a 70-kilometer bubble diameter.
Yeah. A smaller, less profile vehicle, I think, would be our best bet. Because, I mean, this is a shuttle. It shoots superheated fissionable air out the back of it. It lights up every single detector ever. The fact that we were able to land without disturbing traffic patterns is just because nobody cared. But these guys care.
So what sort of vehicle were you thinking of renting?
Well, I would assume that the ideal vehicle for this, I think, would either be it would have to be some sort of all-terrain vehicle. So either have to be treaded or ground effect, aka hovercraft.
Can hovercrafts climb up hills though?
If they're built correctly, yes.
I imagine that they don't use
but
hovercrafts around
but
here.
also, yeah, I would also guess that they might have some vehicle type that, I mean, this is a mining and exploration planet. They might have a vehicle here that is specifically designed to work best in their terrain. I mean, they might even have one that has legs on it, for crying out loud.
I guess maybe they would use hovercrafts for like lava trenches and whatnot.
I mean, if most of the area is flat with melted lava or with lava on it, then you would probably have GEVs or Airbuses to go over that. But if we have to go over mountains and that sort of thing, we might want something that actually has treads. And who knows? They may actually have something that's hybrid.
As you're kind of like is this after you guys have taken the ship over there, or what is this? Like, are you kind of just looking around and talking? Because right now it's very abstract, but
I think at this point we conclude our business with Ognar because I'm looking at the designs and musing over what this. I mean, hey, Ognar, do you have a vehicle we could use? You run a large crime syndicate.
I have some things that might be available, but I would have to redistribute some of my my resources, and they're needed for my factory, but
I have a proposal. Okay, so going over what I know of our skill base, Arcaloid, do you actually have any craft?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, so the only character we have left that has any craft is G-Min's robot. Is that correct?
Not with us.
Nawitz?
Not with us.
Because he sent him to follow.
And you didn't bring the
Lorenzo.
robot. That's right. Did we bring Griffin with us?
Yes, he's with you.
But does Griffin actually have any craft?
Let me check.
Because I was going to propose, since we're planning on junking our large vehicle anyway, since we have to scrub it, we could repurpose some of the parts from our current vehicle, the shuttle, into whatever transportation. So if they're missing, say, a power plant, we could remove some or all of the stuff, possibly salvage parts from our previous vehicle to build the next vehicle.
Well, it's not our vehicle, though, is the problem. That we're returning it to him, and we don't have any authority.
No, Ognar's supposed to chop it anyway.
Right, but I don't know. I don't know what the identification of parts is like around here. Like, they're gonna...
But that's kind of irrelevant because we really don't have any people in the party who are good with tools anymore. So we would have to either rent one or steal one.
So since you guys have been, since you had been, I'll say that since the two of you had been traveling around and doing some, asking a bunch of questions, you've been seeing there were a few hover vehicles, but the main vehicle that they're using to you're seeing a lot of common people use is large, like almost spider-like transport vehicles that can just step over a lot of the lava flows, and kind of like large walkers.
Right,
Planet
since the rocky
Loveless.
ground itself is probably very solid, but you want to have least contact with it. But yeah, but also hovercraft would be extremely popular over large flat areas. Plus, they're once you get them going, they go really fast. And since, like you just described, the crater is 50 kilometers of flatness, a hovercraft would be excellent for that.
Well, before and after the caldera ledge, anyway.
Right, but I mean, you would speed up, get to some speed, and slow down. I mean, once again, it depends on where you are. Like a plane is really, really fast, but I can't use one to get to work.
Yeah, sure. You land speeder it
Not
up
with that
the
attitude.
ledge, and then you really apply as much power as you can to the repulsors before you hit ground, so you'll cushion your own landing. We can just Dukes of Hazzard our way over the ledge.
Myriad Song doesn't have repulsors, so
I'm just throwing in whatever word. I'm just assuming we're not using air, because that would be horrible.
You can get air ducted fans. All you need is a crap load of power.
They're so unreliable, though. Why would you ever want to use them in an industrial area? Just get giant wheels. Giant wheels, and we'll build bridges over the lava ramps.
Giant wheels would be what they would use to haul the metal around. And also the leg vehicles are probably the Explorer ones. We need to get one of these vehicles. If Ognar can help hook us up since we're working for him, that would be ideal. So that's why we would ask him first. Like, we work for you, and you're a local crime boss. He said he would look into it, but I guess if we wanted to boost one on our own. I mean, we're under contract with him, so I think he'd be nice about it. Well, we could ask him about that. We could tell him where we are, and he could get back to us while we go confer with our crew. Would that work?
Yes, that could work for me. If I do find a vehicle, what is in it for me?
Well, we're doing your mission for you.
Nice job.
Yeah. I mean, we need the vehicle to help you. You need us to go somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Do you just want to walk there? My friend
I
doesn't
don't
even...
mind.
What?
I don't mind if you walk.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted this job done.
Yeah, you kind of
Oh,
want
I
it done in a timely manner. We're mercenaries. We're here to, while we're more than happy to apply pressure, we're not explorers. We would.
We're the qualified associates that your friend has sent here to help you, so we can get the job done. Why are you stonewalling us?
You wouldn't want us to be tired and exhausted and dehydrated trying to do this very important job for you.
And cranky. You wouldn't like us when we're cranky.
We'll take good care of it.
Would this be a good spot for a negotiation role to possibly change his mind?
That would be a great opportunity for a negotiation role. Yep, that's
all right.
Negotiation world.
Because we have a human
Those
with
are
us
words.
who starts with negotiation, right?
Yes, I have negotiation, so I can
you
go
assist me since I can use my streetwise with the guy.
I'll assist you. I can't help. My haggling is only over prices, and this is over a concession.
Okay.
So I am no good.
Would this be mind to get him to see the error of his ways, or will to sort of force him into it?
I would say mind.
That's slightly better for me.
Well, hopefully slightly better is slightly enough.
Well, shit, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I do know some associates that could get a vehicle for you. I'll look into it. When you drop off the ship, I'll let you know.
Thank you.
I'll probably have something here for you.
It's quite magnanimous of you.
Of course. So he bids you adieu and shakes each of your shakes your hands, and I look forward to a successful operation.
We aim to please.
Delightful.
No, you aim for the head.
The center mass is easier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
not
pretty
always
sure you didn't
effective.
do any pleasing in the last time we ran a session. You just blew people up.
Well, that is one way to fuck with people, by penetrating them.
All right. So you two are heading back to the ship, and
I'm just
Jamin,
calling them on the radio and saying, "Hey, land on this helipad."
you call him on the radio. Jamin, you're sitting in the ship, you're just killing time, waiting by the radio, listening to their, whatever their FM
I
radio.
got a pretty high kill count because there's no much fucking time to kill.
Yeah, just crazy high. But you're I mean, you're sitting there, you're going over the diagnostics, or cleaning things up, and you're noticing that there appears to be a power drain on your ship. There appears to be some sort of power drain going on.
Goddamn Minox, they're always infesting your shift. Alright.
What would you like to do?
Well, I mean, I guess I will lock down the ship's controls.
Alright.
And I will get out of the ship to take a look around.
It's inside. You're actually inside of a worm. Ah, no. You peek around outside, and you're noticing two what look like large, like lampreys, but their skin is almost completely red, and you can see it almost looks like they're dripping magma off them, and they've attached themselves to the hull of your ship, kind of near the back, right next to the thrusters, and they appear to be doing some sort of convulsing motion. And every time they convulse, you see like a surge of light kind of come from what looks like maybe the ship, and then kind of pulse through their bodies. And it's hard to tell because they're so bright and fiery already, but it does appear that they're getting brighter and brighter.
Yeah, I'll just use my psychokinetic attack to rip them from the ship and throw them.
And drunk physics, Griff is he unfortunately lives in the path of the current hurricanes, and so he had to follow an evacuation order, and so he can't join us for that reason. And before we start combat, I'm going to say, can we take a 5-minute break so I can take a bio break?
Yeah, I mean, you were pointing to a corner on your wall, so there's a bit concerned there.
Well, I got to go piss on this wall, so give me 5 minutes.
Battle drivers count up.
All right, I'm going to take 5 minutes, and we'll be right back.
So I apologize for the interruptions, but behold, new chair.
Yeah, you had to build it yourself.
Yeah. This is a gamer chair, so supposedly it can handle people with my advanced avatar.
Oh, here's open. How many legs does it have?
One. It's got the one leg with the wheels.
One leg. You're you're unicycling on your chair?
No, it's like this. It's the standard office chair where it's got the one spoke on the bottom and then it radiates out for 4
So
or 5
4
weeks.
legs is what you're saying? Feet, whatever.
It's a swivel chair.
Yes. How many legs, feet, whatever does it have?
It has 5 feet.
Okay, 5. Well, it always occurred to me that whenever I had chairs like that, that was the first thing that would break.
Usually when these chairs break, they'll either break on the bottom where they only are held together by pressed board, or often on these arms here, where it's often made of plastic. These arms are made of metal and have a specific bend point in them, which is nice. So hopefully this will last a little bit longer.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to like to lean back and everything. That's why the foot would go. in the because a lot of doing this and then wheel
The other
snaps
My
off.
last chair broke because I would lean back like that, and the clips that held the sliding back in just snapped, so the back was cattywampus at like this angle.
Yes, cattywampus, this word that we all use.
I like hearing cattywampus. It's a good word. Fine word, doesn't get enough use. But no, mine had fractures along the plastic. Most chairs, when you go to buy them, you have to read the fine print. I think it's a cruel joke on the American public that most chairs are only rated for 200 pounds.
That is funny.
One thing I already like about this chair is you can see it's taller than the previous chair. So I already feel more comfortable because my knees aren't as bent.
No, I've just got the recliner. I mean, this recliner is a hand-me-down and it's busted up to shit, but I mean, it's good. Well, it's not great. It's tearing up the floor. I've got 2 carpets underneath it, so it doesn't eat up the carpet.
I've got a floor mat that this is one of the things I always joke about, like in the 90s. It's like, like cartoons like Dilbert got famous for like, building a better life by stealing office supplies, but you can't steal office supplies in 2020. They're measuring your bathroom breaks. I have to imagine there's no way you get away with taking anything to work.
No comment.
Because we're on the air. But this was too good to pass up. This was actually a Staples deal. Apparently Staples is getting rid of these for some reason.
Do you have one of those plastic floor mats?
Yeah, I recommend getting the heavier ones.
See, I used to have the plastic ones, but they would always do that thing where they crack down the sides, and then whatever you're on just, slips into the cracks, and then boom, you're just messing it up even more.
Well, this is my second chair mat. That happened with my previous chair mat, but my previous chair mat lasted something like 15 years. So I'm looking at that go.
Oh, yeah, no, I never got that kind of lifespan out of mine.
It's this has been making the rounds, the Vimes theory of boots from Terry Pratchett, where Vimes mentions that a good pair of boots would cost you like 50 silvers. You can get a cheap pair for like 15, but they'll wear out in a year or two. So over the years, you might wind up spending hundreds of dollars, hundreds of coins or whatever on boots because you're too poor to afford a good pair that can last longer. It's an interesting economic theory.